Strings in the air make music sweet. Strings by the river where the willows meet. There's music along the river, for the love wanders there. Pale flowers on his mantle, dark leaves on his hair, all softly playing with the head to the music bent, and fingers straying upon an instrument. Not long ago, but the world was a happy place, as poet James Joyce says in his poem. Hello and welcome to Falling Earth podcast, brought to you by Avkar. I'm Shrajay, your host, and today's episode is upon a miracle. The miracle that is responsible for our earth to be habitable. It carries seasons with it. It dries the rains. It can be as gentle as a breeze and as ruthless as a tornado. The air. We refer to the mixture of substances in the Earth's atmosphere as air. It is a huge blanket stretched all over the planet. It maintains the temperatures and keeps it in the livable range. It is responsible for changes in seasons worldwide. Primarily, it is necessary for major biological functions as we breathe it. It is a supplier of energy. It is necessary for photosynthesis. It is a must for combustion, for ocean currents, water cycle, pollination, aviation, and a million of such things. A Martian would kill for it, believe me. A heart-shattering fact, though, is that we are losing it to contamination. In October 1948, a small town near Pittsburgh called Donora in Pennsylvania, United States, was enveloped in a lethal haze. Over 5 days, nearly half of the town's 14,000 residents experienced severe respiratory and cardiovascular problems. It was difficult to breathe. Unimaginably, 40 people died. This calamity was first of its kind. People must have referred to it as an apocalypse. Disturbing photos shows that Donora's streets hidden under a thick blanket of grey smog. A warm air pocket had passed high above the town, trapping cooler air below and sealing in pollutants. Donora was no stranger to pollution. Steel and zinc smelters had long plagued town with the dirty air. But the air pocket left pollutants with no escape route. They sat stewing in the streets where residents breathed them in lethal doses. The situation in Donora was extreme, but it reflected a trend. Air pollution had become a harsh consequence of industrial growth across the United States and the world. This was the history of air pollution when public and scientists became aware of the trap humans have been creating for themselves in the disguise of high-rolling economy. Since then, one can see struggles and protests globally to bring attention to the diplomats and governments to the seriousness of the issue and to make the common man aware of the ways to prevent it. Pittsburgh was one of the largest industrial capitals in the world. But industrial practices began in the 1800s when the world was still going through colonialism. In mid-20th century, countries started to get independence from the colonial rule and began their own industrial practices. And in the need of economic development, industrialization began to thrive. But as it was already known, this development comes with a cost. At the cost of fresh air. The whole world started to experience severe air pollution, especially in the developing countries. An example of which is the infamous Asian brown cloud. Asian brown cloud is a large atmospheric brown cloud that occurs annually from November through May over eastern China and southern Asia. The Asian brown cloud is caused by large amounts of aerosols such as soot and dust produced in the combustion of fossil fuels and biomass across the region. It has been linked to decrease in summer monsoon rainfall in India since 1930. The southward shift of the summer monsoon in eastern China, declines in agricultural production, and increases in respiratory and cardiovascular problems in the people inhabiting the region. The first observation of this phenomena were made in late 1990s as a part of Indian Ocean experiment, also known as Indo-X, in which coordinated air pollution measurements were taken from satellites, aircraft, ships, surface stations, and balloons. The Indo-X observations surprised researchers by revealing a large aerosol formation over most of South Asia and the northern Indian Ocean. Because of the effects of Asian brown cloud, India and China are dimmer at the surface today by at least 6% compared with their state in pre-industrial times. So what are these pollutants and how are we living amidst a giant pool of these? The gaseous pollutants include oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, and carbon. Volatile organic compounds, ammonia, chlorofluorocarbons, and ozone are also some major gaseous pollutants. Dust, soot, and all kinds of particulate matter constitute PM 2.5 and PM 5. The source of these pollutants are huge in number, like landfills, oil-driven vehicles, workshops, forest fires, volcanic eruptions, and many more. One of the sources, rather the most prominent one, are industries. Oil refineries, sugar mills, the factories with one of those large chimneys. Ever thought why these chimneys are so tall and large? The tall chimneys are actually to prevent health hazards because of the pollution. This might seem to be a sarcastic statement, but it is true. Large chimneys help in reducing the particulate matter concentration. When the effluent gas reaches the top of these chimneys, the gas is carried away by the winds at that height to a large geographical area which dilutes the concentration of harmful effluents in the atmosphere. This is achieved because of temperature and pressure differences between the effluent gas, surface air, and the air at that height of chimneys. But clearly, it is not a long-term solution and just a mere tool to reduce immediate effect on people's health. New engineering models are being proposed and industries are evolving to be more compatible with the environment. To measure the air quality, we keep on a track in the concentration of these pollutants and average them out to a number called AQI or Air Quality Index using weighted mean. There are defined standards for AQI. If AQI is large, preventive measures can be taken accordingly. So what is the future? Major strides have been made to improve air quality, but many complex scientific questions remain, calling for innovative and novel research. It has become increasingly clear that multiple pollutants play a role in determining risks to people and environment. Scientists are moving forward with a multi-pollutant approach to air pollution research. It is crucial to understand the collective impacts of multiple air pollutants. We understand how climate change and air quality interact and what are the consequences for public health and environment. We have found the evidence that future temperature increases will increase air pollution levels in some regions of the world. Urban areas are already suffering from pollution problems, may incur the greatest burden of these changes. The question is all this inevitable? Would we never be able to breathe the clean air that we deserve or that we got from nature from initial times? Are we moving towards an apocalypse? The straight answer is no. Donora is now a beautiful countryside as it evolved with sustainable practices and environment-friendly measures. Similarly, the world can evolve. We must do our part to reduce air pollution and save this miraculous resource we have. It is not so difficult to use clean energy at our households. Composting at home avoids emissions from the landfills. Choosing clean locomotion is very ecstatic trend. Adopting vegetarian food drastically reduces the air pollution and carbon footprint. And many such healthy changes can be made in our day-to-day lifestyle. Thank you very much, listeners. Hope you liked our show. For more information, follow us on Instagram at avkarind or visit our website www.avkar.in. We'll be back with another informative episode shortly. See you next time.